It's my pleasure to welcome you here to the Clark Howard Show. You know, our mission is to serve you with advice and information that empowers you so you make better financial decisions in your life. One way we help you with those decisions is with our Team Clark Consumer Action Center, where since 1993, we've been providing free one-on-one advice and guidance to you. And this is available to you 30 hours each week. Again, for free. Go to clark.com/CAC to see how to get that free advice. And I'm going to begin today's show with a tip for you when medical bills come in the mail or the email. So 1 in 5 Americans, according to research by the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, are dealing with outstanding medical debt they've not been able to pay. 1 in 5 of us. And medical is such a roulette because, I mean, what else do you do in your life where you don't know what you're paying till after you've received a service? Crazy, isn't it? Just absolutely crazy. And so you and I face a challenge because we can't say, well, they didn't do this, that, or the other to us unless they didn't. It was a riddle. But the bill that we got, how accurate it is that bill? Well, so often there are inaccuracies on bills. And a researcher at University of Southern California did research on medical bills and found that if you had a bill that you could not afford, 3/4 of the time, when you reach out to the medical provider, 3/4 of the time people got some reduction in the bill because they couldn't afford it. And the problem is a lot of people get a bill that you can't afford and you say, well, and you just bury your head in the sand. Next thing you know, your credit's trashed and you got debt collectors trying to eat you up. So if you got a bill you know you can't handle, you want to reach out to that provider. I've talked specifically about how you do that at a hospital, but it could be any of a variety of bills from various providers. And you don't ask, you don't get. Remember, 3/4 of the time, you're going to get help from the provider. This research was led by Professor Aaron Duffy at USC. And so that's first. Second, you get a bill and you're like, they didn't do that. I didn't have that. Medical billing, particularly from hospitals, is legendarily inaccurate. And if you get a bill and you're looking at it, you say, that didn't happen. So again, you contact the medical provider about something you think is inaccurate. What percent of the time do people get the bill corrected? 10%? 5%? 20%? No. Again, 3/4 of the time. Because let me tell you a little secret. The people in medicine know that they're clueless about the bills they send you, and that it's very common that the bills are going to be wrong with things on there you're not supposed to pay. So why would you pay for something you didn't actually receive? You go to a restaurant and they show on your bill, you go to a white tablecloth restaurant, and they show on your bill that you had a bottle of wine you didn't have. What are you going to do? Well, me first, when I see the price of the bottle of wine, I keel over. But I'm then going to say, hey, I didn't order this bottle of wine. Or whatever it is. And I go through a bill at a restaurant, and hopefully you do too, like a fine-tooth comb. I go through the whole thing. I say, did I really do that? You're laughing at me.
I'm so bad
Why
at that.
are you laughing
No,
at
I'm
me?
laughing at myself because I'm terrible. Like, I will just give them my credit card when they bring it, especially if I'm in a rush. I just give them the credit card and
You're killing me.
I mean, I'll look at later when I sign it, but sometimes when you have to, I know. I got to be better about that.
So this stat also from the USC thing, Krista, I don't understand the difference between these two, but almost 2/3 of people who negotiated a bill got the bill dropped in price. So I'm trying to figure out the difference between that and the 3/4 of people who got financial relief. I guess the difference could be that some of the people got a payment plan or something like that, but not a reduction in the bill. But nearly 2/3 of people get a reduction in the bill just by saying, I don't have the money. What can we do here? And they get the bill reduced. And Krista, you need to promise me that you're going to start looking at those restaurant receipts.
I promise.
Coming up ahead. Now, recently on the show, I talked about how appealing auto insurance claims can lead to big savings. Well, do you know the same, maybe even more true with health insurance? And I'm going to give you a great example. So, insurance claims that you submit or that your medical provider submits for reimbursement from health insurance, which, by the way, in the United States, we have the largest percent of Americans insured that we've probably ever had in the modern history of the United States. Overwhelmingly, people do have health insurance now, but having it isn't the same as getting the money reimbursed because insurers are playing tough. One estimate I saw is that 1 in 7 claims are denied. Another I saw said 1 in 4. And 1 in 4 is probably an exaggeration. But clearly it's a big problem as someone who has unfortunately used too much medical care in the last few years. I have received a lot of these denials myself. So it is a big problem. But there are now tools available where you don't have to just take it. Now, according to Kaiser Family Foundation, they now go by KFF, their research is that only 0.1% of insurance company denials are ever appealed. So the insurers have an enormous marketplace benefit to turn down legit claims because 99.9% of the time people say, oh, well, I can't fight the big bad insurer. I'm just going to pay the money, even though I had coverage for it. You don't do that. You stand up for yourself and your rights. We're talking big money here. Well, there was a story in the San Francisco Standard, a newspaper I'm not familiar with, about a tech worker in San Francisco named Holden, and I won't pronounce the last name right. I'm going to give you a shot at it, Krista. Karau? Karau? K-A-R-A-U.
Karau.
That would be Karau. And she has had a fair amount of medical issues, had an accident, and she had a lot of denials on her coverage. And she had 40 denials from her care. She appealed all these 40 denials. What percent did she win of her appeals? 5%? 10%? 20%? How about 90%? 90%. Now, an insurer could, in good faith, deny something because they're missing supporting documents. An insurer could be acting in bad faith and just deny because it's a way for them to pay out less money to make more money. You don't know what it is, which it is. But she fought and got her money 90% of the time. Now, you got to be really, really organized. And people can be intimidated by the process of appeals. So remember, I said she works in tech. What did she do? She came up with a website you can go to when you have a claim that is declined and you don't know exactly how to handle the appeal. And she's developed these tools for you to use that are free. If you want to donate anything, you can donate money to fund it. But you go there and you click on Generate Appeal. And she uses AI in order to take the denial and know the proper medical terminology and lingo and all that to do an appeal. And the website, simply enough, is called, I love it, fighthealthinsurance.com. Fighthealthinsurance.com. As to how well her templates will do for you, don't know. But I hope the overall message you get, even if you don't use her tools or you find they're useless for you, whatever it is, I want you to know the important thing. 0.1% of people ever appeal a denial, and it's your money? It's your money? Don't just take it. Don't be a sheep. Why do we always denigrate sheep?
Oh, poor sheep.
Yeah, poor sheep. Anyway, fight for your rights and get that money you are entitled to. Stand up to the big impersonal insurance company, period.